chosen ones. Now they're obsessed with who you are and how you did it. They can't get enough. Success is not about how high you climb, but how many times you rise when others expect you to fall. Have you ever noticed that the same people who once doubted you now can't stop watching your every move? They question your rise, obsess over your success, and wonder how you did it without their approval. The truth is, when you defy expectations, you expose insecurities about what they thought was impossible for you and become a mirror of what they've failed to achieve. In today's video on spiritual wisdom, we'll explore why their obsession with you is more than curiosity. It's a reflection of their own unfulfilled potential. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced this silent obsession from others? How did you turn their doubts into fuel for your growth? Let's inspire each other to embrace our journey unapologetically. Now, let's dive in. 1. You made the impossible look effortless. You made the impossible look effortless, and that's where the fascination begins. While others were tangled up in their excuses, too difficult, too risky, not enough time, you chose action over hesitation and results over regrets. The truth is, your success didn't come without struggle. But here's what sets you apart. You didn't wear your hardships on your sleeve. They didn't see the late nights filled with uncertainty, the sacrifices that nearly broke you, or the moments where you had to bet on yourself when no one else would. All they see now is the outcome of a life they thought was beyond reach, and it leaves them rattled. Why? Because they've spent years telling themselves success must be loud, exhausting, and validated by applause. You proved that real spiritual power doesn't need validation. It simply exists and transforms. This quiet confidence, this spiritual awakening, disrupts their beliefs and forces them to confront their own limits. It's not just your success that haunts them. It's the realization that they had the same opportunities but didn't take the same risks. Your journey has exposed a hard truth. What they labeled as impossible was often a mask for fear. And while they were busy blaming circumstances or waiting for permission to rise, you chose to walk your path without needing an audience. You acted, you persevered, and you thrived. Not because it was easy, but because you believed in something bigger. Your potential, your purpose, and the divine guidance lighting your way. That belief is what makes you a chosen one, and it's exactly what unsettles them the most. In a modern world that demands instant gratification and constant recognition, your ability to stay focused on your mission while ignoring the noise is a spiritual lesson they cannot ignore. You didn't beg for applause or broadcast every struggle. You let your actions and results speak. That quiet power, so rare and commanding, is like a mirror they can't look away from. It reminds them of what they could have been if they had silenced their doubts and simply taken a step forward. You've shown them that success isn't about being louder or being seen. It's about being spiritually aligned, resilient, and willing to embrace discomfort. They're obsessed with your path because it reveals what they've been avoiding, the need to take ownership of their lives. Your success whispers a deeper truth that greatness was always within their reach, but their fear of failure kept them small. Here's a word of advice. Don't let their obsessions distract you. Their curiosity, envy, or admiration have nothing to do with your purpose. Keep moving forward with that quiet confidence, because your journey is not just about personal success, but also about inspiring others to break through their limitations. If your actions leave them confused enough to begin their own spiritual awakening, then you have served a higher purpose. Stay grounded, stay humble, and remember, the chosen one does not seek validation. They walk with purpose, empowered by a divine force that others are only beginning to understand. Keep shining, because in doing so, you awaken others to possibilities they have spent their lives ignoring. That is the gift of the chosen one. You make others believe that they too can rise. Comment below, "I am the chosen one," to receive this wonderful gift. 2. Your growth proved their predictions wrong. They doubted you. They talked behind your back, laughed at your dreams, and whispered their own predictions about your failure. To them, you were just another person who would settle for less, someone whose path would never lead to greatness. But what they failed to understand is that you were on a different kind of journey, a spiritual journey of self-discovery and resilience. You weren't seeking validation from others, nor did you allow their limitations to define your destiny. Instead, you were quietly building yourself, choosing growth over stagnation and faith over fear. The very people who once dismissed you are now obsessed with you, not because they've suddenly realized your worth, but because they can't comprehend how you did it. Your spiritual growth has shattered every box they tried to put you in, and they're scrambling to figure out how they got it so wrong. It's not admiration that keeps them watching you, it's frustration. Every step forward you take feels like a step backward for them, because it forces them to confront their own insecurities, fears, and lack of vision. Think about it this way. In modern life, it's like that one coworker or former classmate who thought they were better than you because of their loud confidence or connections. They underestimated you, always dismissing your quiet determination and ability to endure. Maybe you were working 2 jobs while they enjoyed their comfort. Maybe you were silently improving your skills while they were busy bragging about what they already had. Years later, they find themselves stuck in the same place, while you've grown into a version of yourself they never believed was possible. Now, they're scrolling through your life, social media, stories, or success news, trying to analyze every move you made, wondering how you bypassed them. It's as if your success reminds them of their failures, of their refusal to believe that growth requires sacrifice, persistence, and trust in the unseen. They obsess because your journey exposes something within them they haven't yet faced. The courage to go beyond fear, judgment, and comfort zones. What they missed is simple but profound. You didn't take shortcuts, you didn't seek applause, and you didn't fold when life got difficult. Instead, you embraced the discomfort, learned from failures, and nurtured a deep spiritual connection that gave you clarity and strength when everything else seemed uncertain. Your spirituality became the foundation for your growth, allowing you to rise in ways they couldn't predict. They see your victories, but what they don't see are the nights you spent in solitude, praying for direction, the silent battles you fought, and the sacrifices you made to stay true to your path. Spiritual growth doesn't happen overnight. It's a process of choosing to trust the divine within you, even when others dismiss your potential. So, what about you? Are there people in your life who have doubted you, who underestimated what you could become? If so, remember this. Their opinions only carry weight if you allow them to. You were chosen for a purpose far greater than their limited understanding, and your growth isn't meant to satisfy their curiosity. It's meant to inspire those who truly see you. Keep rising, because every step forward isn't just for you. It's for every person who needs to know that transformation is possible, even when the world doesn't believe in them. Let their obsession be their lesson, not your burden. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your growth, only gratitude to the journey and the divine energy that carried you here. Your story is proof that spiritual strength, resilience, and unwavering faith will always outshine doubt. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need these great values. Let's continue this conversation and go deeper into what these values really mean. 3. You thrived without their approval. They thought they had you figured out, didn't they? They thought they were the gatekeepers to success, the ones who could decide who rises and who falls. as if their approval was the currency of your destiny. They set their rules and planted invisible walls, believing that you would play along, desperate for their validation. But here's where you shattered their illusion. You didn't play their game. You refused to give them the power to determine your worth. You walked right past their gates, built your own path, and proved that their so-called rules were just smoke and mirrors. That's what haunts them most. You thrived without their approval, and now they're obsessed with figuring out how you did it. Their disbelief is louder than their envy. They're re-watching your every move like a broken record, questioning every decision you made, and searching for cracks that might explain your success. The truth? There are no cracks, because your success didn't come from shortcuts or the system they cling to so tightly. It came from your spiritual wisdom, the kind of wisdom that teaches you that your power comes from within, not from external validation. As Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent," and you lived that truth. You believed in yourself when no one else did. You understood that their system, built on control, ego, and fear, was only as powerful as you allowed it to be. And you chose differently. You dared to challenge the narrative. You approved of yourself when they refused to, and that confidence became your superpower. Now, they can't stop obsessing. They're dissecting your story, trying to make sense of your courage. How did they do it? How did they thrive without us? They wonder, trapped in a spiral of their own disbelief. But here's the beautiful part. They'll never truly understand it, because they cannot fathom the strength it takes to bet on yourself. Your success reminds them of a truth they've spent their lives avoiding. Their power was never real to begin with. You exposed the illusion, and that scares them more than anything. But this isn't about them. It's about you. It's about your resilience, your authenticity, and your refusal to be defined by anyone's opinion but your own. You stood in your truth and showed the world that success doesn't require permission, only purpose and persistence. So let me ask you this. Who else do you need approval from to walk in your greatness? The answer is no one. You've already proven that by thriving on your own terms, and in doing so, you've become an inspiration for those who are still trapped in the shadow of approval seeking. You're the reminder that true success is built on inner belief, not outward validation. Keep moving boldly, because their obsession is just proof that you've won the game they thought you couldn't play. As the great Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." And you've done exactly that. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What is your perspective on the importance of this value? Share your insights, and let's continue this conversation. 4. You broke the rules. They blindly followed. They said you couldn't do it your way. They told you the rules were ironclad, the path was straight, and that success belongs only to those who played it safe. But you shatter that illusion, and now they can't look away. You didn't just step out of line. You burned the entire blueprint they swore by. While they were busy living under someone else's rules, you carved your own path, rewriting what it means to succeed in modern life. That's the spiritual awakening that makes them restless. It's not just your success, it's the way you achieved it. You proved that the rules they clung to wear chains, and your freedom now holds up a mirror to their self-imposed limitations. They spent years believing the system would reward compliance. Stay small, never question, don't stand out. But when they see you thrive in ways they couldn't imagine, it shatters their belief in those old doctrines. You refused to stay in the box they accepted as home, and it rattled them to the core, because deep down, they always wondered what might happen if they dared to break free. And yet, here you are thriving not because of luck, but because of courage. You didn't need the validation of the crowd or permission from gatekeepers. You relied on your intuition, your energy, and a quiet spiritual confidence that told you there was more waiting for you outside their boundaries. That spiritual awakening. It gave you clarity. You saw the system for what it was, a facade, a trap, and chose to rise above it. While they fought to fit in, you poured your energy into building something of your own. And here's the truth they won't admit. They're not just curious, they're frustrated. Your success challenges the stories they told themselves to stay comfortable. It's why they're watching, lurking, analyzing every move you make. They hope to find a flaw, a moment of weakness, some proof that you didn't earn it, that you just got lucky. But what they fail to see is that the system never owned you, so you never needed to cheat it. You transcended it, and that's what keeps them obsessed. Now, in a world full of distractions, your energy is undeniable. You show up as proof that freedom is real, but it doesn't come easy. It requires spiritual awakening, discipline, and the willingness to walk alone, if necessary. It's why they gossip and speculate, trying to piece together your secret, but they miss the most important truth. You bet on yourself. And that's a lesson for all of us. If you're listening, take this to heart and stop asking for permission to live the life you dream of. The rules they give you are designed to keep you small, to keep you playing a role, instead of becoming the leader you're meant to be. Your spiritual power, your resilience, and your authenticity are the tools that will set you apart, just like they did for the chosen ones who came before you. And when you finally step into that space, when you embrace the power of leading on your own terms, you'll notice it too. They won't stop watching. But this time, it won't matter. Because the moment you step out of their world, you'll realize they were never the ones holding you back. The only thing they could ever control was the story you believed about yourself. Rewrite it, break free, lead with courage, and let them watch. Share your story, or simply type, "I am growing," if you're committed to using every moment to improve yourself. Let's keep this conversation going. I can't wait to hear your insights. Five, your resilience makes you unstoppable. Your resilience makes you unstoppable. They've seen you weather storms that would have destroyed anyone else. At first, they underestimated the magnitude of your spirit, thinking you would crumble under pressure, surrender to failure, or disappear into obscurity, like so many others. They were so sure that the burdens placed on you, the setbacks, the betrayals, the relentless obstacles, would finally break you. They waited for your fall, secretly cheering for it, convinced that no one could endure so much and still rise again. Yet every time they thought they had you figured out, you did something they could never predict. You rose stronger. Not just stronger, but wiser, more determined, and more unshakable than before. Your comeback wasn't just survival. It was a transformation. You weren't just rising, you were soaring to levels they couldn't comprehend, and that truth now haunts them. They obsess over you, not out of admiration, but confusion. How is it possible that someone like you, who they tried to suppress, underestimated, and ignored, continues to thrive? How did you build resilience in a world that rewards conformity and punishes independence? To them, your spiritual growth defies everything they believe about life, success, and the system they cling to. In modern society, this story repeats itself every day. Think of the college graduate who couldn't land a job because they lacked the right connections, or the single parent working tirelessly to provide for their children while society tells them they should give up. Then, against all odds, they find a way. They build a business, return to school, or reinvent their lives in ways no one expected. The very people who doubted them are suddenly watching, unable to look away, obsessed with how they pulled it off. It's not just the victories that draw attention. It's the relentless determination, the refusal to quit when quitting would have been the easier option. They can't understand how you kept going after the losses, the failures, and the ridicule. But what they don't realize is that each of those moments of hardship became fuel for your growth. You learned lessons they refused to learn because they were too afraid of failure. Your resilience didn't come from an easy life. It came from your willingness to face the storm head-on and trust in something deeper. Your spirituality, your faith, and your belief in your own purpose. What makes you unstoppable is not just your strength, but your ability to adapt, learn, and grow through the process. You didn't beg for approval or validation. You understood that true strength lies in embracing the challenge, not avoiding it. You've shown them that the system is not all-powerful, that there is a higher energy and an unshakable force within those who believe in their path and are willing to face adversity to achieve it. They've been taught to avoid risks, to avoid pain, and to follow the blueprint laid out for them. But you broke free. You rewrote the rules, and now they're left questioning everything they thought they knew. Your existence exposes a truth they don't want to confront. Resilience, spiritual growth, and unwavering belief are far more powerful than conformity ever will be. Here's the lesson. You are unstoppable because you no longer fear the struggle. You embrace it as a stepping stone to greater heights. Every time life knocks you down, you get back up. And in doing so, you've become a mirror for others. A mirror that shows them their own fears, limitations, and untapped potential. So ask yourself, are you allowing challenges to shape you, or are you letting them defeat you? Your resilience is your greatest gift, and those who can't understand it will continue to watch, wondering how you did it. Let them. Because the truth is, they can't stop you. You are unstoppable because you've discovered a power that comes not from avoiding hardship, but from using it to grow. Keep rising, keep thriving, and let your story inspire those willing to listen to their own inner strength. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. 6. You force them to acknowledge their own mediocrity. The moment you stepped into your power, you became the mirror they've been avoiding their entire lives. Your success, your growth, and the light of your spiritual wisdom expose everything they wish they could be, but have been too afraid to pursue. Every achievement you reach is a quiet reminder of the dreams they buried, the chances they never took, and the potential they let wither in the name of comfort and fear. They may have convinced themselves that mediocrity was enough, but deep down, seeing you rise forces them to confront an unsettling truth. They had the same chances, but they chose to stand still while you chose to rise. It's not admiration that keeps them obsessed with you. It's a toxic mix of envy, regret, and self-loathing. They resent your courage because it highlights their cowardice. They fixate on your wins because every step forward you take makes their own stagnancy harder to ignore. Where you embraced failure as a stepping stone, they shied away from discomfort, clinging to the illusion of safety. And now, your life shines like a beacon, showing them exactly what they could have had if only they dared to believe in themselves the way you believed in your vision. But here's the irony. Their fixation on you isn't truly about you. It's about what you represent. Your success makes them question their choices, and instead of looking inward, they project that frustration outward. It's easier for them to call you lucky, to diminish your journey, or to tear you down than to face the unsettling reality that they've allowed life to pass them by. This obsession isn't born from curiosity or admiration, but from a desperate attempt to escape their own self-imposed limitations. As the saying goes, people throw stones at things that shine, and your light, your boldness, your resilience, your spiritual wisdom makes you impossible to ignore. They envy the risks you've taken, the path you've walked, and the faith you've had in yourself when no one else did. So they sit on the sidelines, watching, analyzing, and often hoping you stumble not because they truly wish to see you fail, but because your success reminds them that it's not the world that held them back. It's themselves. The truth is, every chosen one understands this struggle because your energy is different. It's magnetic, and they can't get enough of it. It doesn't matter if they admire you secretly or criticize you openly. They are still consumed by thoughts of how you did it. Why does your presence stir such strong emotions in others? What is it about your journey that leaves them obsessed with every move you make? These questions may swirl in their minds, but the answers will always come back to this. You embody everything they wish they had the courage to become. But here's the most powerful lesson of all. Your success is not their defeat. It's proof that greatness exists for anyone willing to step into the unknown and claim it. So let them project their insecurities and fears onto you. Let them obsess over how you did it. Because the more they focus on you, the clearer it becomes that you are proof that the life they dream of is possible. Remember, their obsession says nothing about your worth. It says everything about their choices. Your spiritual wisdom has taught you that their darkness cannot dim your light unless you allow it. You are a living testament to what happens when faith conquers fear, when boldness conquers hesitation, and when dreams are pursued relentlessly. So let me ask you this. How many people are watching you right now, secretly wishing they had the courage to take just one step in the direction of their purpose? Whether they love you, envy you, or try to tear you down, you have done what they fear most. You have shown them what is possible when someone dares to believe in themselves. Keep going, because your story is far from over and their obsession. That is just proof that you have won. Comment below, "I am the winner," and let's continue this journey. 7. Your success feels personal to them. Your success isn't just a milestone, it's a spiritual awakening that has revealed deep truths about those around you. To some, your rise feels like a personal attack, a silent challenge to everything they believed about themselves and their ability to control the world around them. It's not just that you achieved something great, it's that you did it despite their efforts to undermine, discredit, or sabotage you. They tried to manipulate your path, hoping to see you falter. But every roadblock they threw in your way became fuel for your journey forward. You see, what they never anticipated is that adversity sharpens the chosen ones, those spiritually aligned individuals who are destined to rise above. Instead of breaking you, their schemes forged you, forcing you to dig deep into your strength, your resilience, and your divine purpose. The truth is, your success isn't just your own. It's a reflection of their failure. That's what stings the most. Every time you thrive, it's a glaring reminder that their attempts to stop you were powerless against your energy, your vision, and the higher calling that drives you. They can't stand that. While they were consumed by jealousy, bitterness, and the desire to hold you back, you were building. You were evolving. Your focus on your purpose, your spiritual awakening was unstoppable, and it exposed the reality of their stagnation. Every move they made to pull you down only propelled you higher, and every moment you kept moving forward silently proved their defeat. This is what torments them the most. Their actions against you were not only futile, but counterproductive. While they plotted in the shadows, you stepped into the light. While they obsessed over stopping your progress, you obsessed over becoming your best self, growing stronger and more unshakable than ever before. And here you are now, thriving, standing tall, and walking the path that was always meant for you. To them, your victories feel like wounds that refuse to heal, because they never expected to see you soar without their approval, validation, or support. This cuts deeper than any words could, because it reminds them that they never truly held power over you. Your spiritual awakening showed you that you don't need anyone's permission to claim the life you're destined for. And for those who tried to block you, this truth is unbearable. Your growth shines a mirror in their face, reflecting the reality they don't want to see. While you chose to rise, they chose to remain stuck. The chosen ones move differently because they carry a divine energy, a spiritual purpose that cannot be extinguished no matter how fiercely others try to snuff it out. Now, they can't stop thinking about you. They're obsessed with how you did it, how you turned every setback into a comeback, every insult into fuel, and every rejection into redirection. Your success haunts them because it reminds them of a battle they thought they could win. A battle they lost the moment they underestimated your power. But here's what you need to remember. Their obsession isn't your burden to carry. Let it go. Their fixation is rooted in their own insecurities, not your worth. Keep your focus on your path, because the truth is, you were chosen to inspire, to lead, and to light the way for others who are still finding their strength. In modern life, people will try to control you, dismiss you, or manipulate you to fit their narrative. But your spiritual awakening has shown you that you are unstoppable when you align with your higher purpose. Every time you rise, you inspire someone else to believe that they, too, can overcome. So let their obsession serve as a testament to the strength, resilience, and divine energy within you. Keep building, keep thriving, and let your success speak louder than their doubts. They can't break what was built by God, and the chosen ones are living proof of that truth. Your story isn't just about rising above, it's about becoming a beacon of light for those ready to awaken their own spiritual power. Let them watch, let them wonder, and most importantly, let them see that nothing, no scheme, no person, no obstacle can stop what's divinely yours. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need these great values. Let's continue this conversation and go deeper into what these values really mean. 8. You made them question their own identity. You've become the person they can't stop thinking about, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. For years, they constructed their identity on shaky ground, tethered to societal expectations, external validation, and a version of themselves that was carefully curated, but far from genuine. Then you walked into their lives bold, authentic, and completely self-reliant. Your presence alone acts as a glaring spotlight, illuminating every corner of their lives they've avoided looking at. It's more than admiration, more than envy. It's a deep discomfort that whispers to them in the quiet moments, making them question the very foundation of who they think they are. Your confidence becomes a harsh reminder of the risks they were too afraid to take. Your independence exposes the invisible chains they've willingly worn, relying on others for approval and direction. Your authenticity forces them to confront the countless masks they've donned to feel accepted. And worst of all, they're painfully aware of it. It's like you've held up a mirror they can't look away from, reflecting back their insecurities and revealing a truth they've tried to suppress for years. They've been living someone else's life, a life designed to fit in, but devoid of true fulfillment. In the modern world, this is all too familiar. Think of the co-worker who quietly admires you from afar, but scoffs at your successes. The friend who starts to question their own ambitions after watching you pursue your dreams without apology. Or even a relative who dismisses your lifestyle choices, while secretly wondering how you've achieved so much freedom and joy. Maybe it's the neighbor who always plays it safe, sticking to the path of comfort and predictability, but suddenly feels restless when they see you thriving while taking risks they never dared to. The truth is, your journey of spiritual growth, self-discovery, and unapologetic authenticity has disrupted their carefully maintained reality. It has shown them what's possible, and for those who haven't taken the same steps toward embracing their true selves, it's jarring. They analyze your actions, obsess over your choices, and replay moments when your energy felt impossible to ignore. They're not just watching you, they're searching for answers. Why does their life feel so unfulfilling? Why does your joy, confidence, and clarity make them feel so unsettled? But here's the real lesson. Their obsession with you is not truly about you. It's about the awakening you represent. You are a living example of what happens when someone sheds societal expectations and chooses to walk in alignment with their higher self. You embody a truth they've been afraid to face, that the safe life they built is also the life that's holding them back. Deep down, they're wrestling with questions they don't yet have the courage to answer. What if they pursued their passions instead of following a script? What if they embraced their true selves without fear of judgment or failure? And what would their life look like if they stopped searching for approval and chose authenticity instead? This internal struggle is why they can't stop thinking about you. You've stirred something within them that's hard to ignore. So what can we learn from this? Never underestimate the power of walking in your truth. Your spiritual growth and authenticity not only serve you, but also inspire others, even those who may seem critical or jealous. Your presence shatters false narratives and shows people a new way of living, whether they are ready for it or not. And for those who have yet to understand the path you are on, remember this. Their discomfort is not a burden for you to bear. Continue to be a reflection of what is possible. Continue to grow, continue to be authentic, and continue to show up as the best version of yourself. Because when you live your life without regret, you allow others to question their own lives, and in time, they may find the courage to break free and pursue the life they truly want to live. Comment below, "I am the master of my life," so we can connect with each other. 9. You're unpredictable and unreachable. You've become the one they can't stop watching, the mystery they can't solve, the energy they can't quite capture, and it drives them absolutely mad. Why? Because you're unpredictable and unreachable. They live for control, for predictability, for systems where they can fit people into tidy little boxes. But here you are refusing to play along. You've shattered their illusions. They can't categorize you, can't anticipate your next move, and it's eating away at them. It's not that you're chaotic. No, your unpredictability is a powerful freedom. You're walking your path with spiritual wisdom, untethered to their expectations, immune to their manipulations. Every time they think they've finally cracked your code, you make a move that flips the script. Your silence speaks volumes. Your detachment exudes power. You don't explain yourself, you don't overshare, and most importantly, you don't seek their approval. And this is what rattles them the most. You've severed the invisible strings they once used to control people. You've made it clear that their opinions hold no weight in your life, and that truth terrifies them. As Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." You've taken back your consent. You've reclaimed your energy. To them, people are puzzles to be solved, but you're a paradox, a mystery they'll never fully understand. They fixate on you, hoping to decode your essence. But the more they analyze, the more elusive you become. It's like trying to catch smoke with their bare hands. It slips through, leaving them frustrated and obsessed. You've become a mirror reflecting their own limitations. They see in you the kind of freedom they'll never experience because they're too busy trying to control what they cannot. And while they're obsessed with who you are and how you did it, you're out here living unapologetically, unbound, and unbothered. But let me ask you this. Have you noticed how powerful it feels to no longer seek their validation? To stand firm in your authenticity, no matter who watches or judges? That's spiritual wisdom in action. It's the quiet understanding that your worth is not measured by their standards. When you reach this level of detachment, you become untouchable, not physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. You rise above their games, their narratives, and their need for control. What's fascinating is how their obsession reveals their own insecurities. They're desperate to figure out what makes you so free because deep down, they crave that same freedom, but don't know how to get it. Your life becomes an unspoken challenge to everything they hold dear. You don't need their approval, their validation, or their control to thrive. You've stepped into a higher vibration where their opinions simply don't matter. That freedom, that authenticity, is rare, and when people can't reach or predict you, they become consumed with trying to bring you back down to their level. But here's the truth. They can't. You're already too far ahead. You're operating on your own terms, moving with intention and purpose. So let me leave you with this. Are you ready to embrace the fullness of your unpredictability, to own your freedom, and to let their obsession be proof of just how powerful you've become? Because when you move with spiritual wisdom and live in alignment with who you truly are, their fixation isn't your burden. It's your confirmation that you're doing exactly what you were meant to do. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. 10. Your silence speaks louder than their noise. Your silence is louder than their noise, and it's driving them mad because it's something they can't comprehend. In a world where constant validation is sought through endless noise, social media posts, debates, gossip, and arguments, your ability to remain silent becomes a spiritual superpower that sets you apart. This isn't just silence, it's discipline, control, and power wrapped into one. It's a reflection of a deeper spiritual awakening where you've realized that true strength doesn't need to announce itself. When you choose not to explain yourself, not to react to every slight or challenge, it unnerves them. They thrive on chaos, fueled by the drama of conflict, craving your energy as if it were oxygen. But when you deny them a response, you starve them of the satisfaction they seek, and they spiral into obsession, trying to figure out how you operate. Suddenly, you've flipped the narrative. Their insecurities are now amplified, while your silence becomes the loudest message in the room. In modern life, where everything moves at lightning speed and everyone feels the need to defend themselves, staying silent is a strategy few can master. It forces others to sit with their own noise, their insecurities bubbling to the surface, while you remain focused on your spiritual growth and purpose. You don't need to prove yourself because your results are already speaking volumes. Instead of wasting energy engaging in petty games, you channel that energy into building something meaningful, your success, your happiness, and your legacy. And here's the brilliance of it. The less you say, the more power you hold. People begin to obsess over your every move, analyzing your silence, overthinking your decisions, desperate to uncover what's driving you. They've unknowingly handed you control. Your silence becomes their kryptonite because it reflects back what they lack: confidence, clarity, and self-assurance. This approach isn't about avoiding confrontation, it's about mastering your energy. A spiritual awakening teaches you that not every battle is worth fighting, and that the strongest person in the room is often the one who refuses to engage in unnecessary noise. By staying grounded and composed, you exude an energy of calm authority, an energy that draws people in without you lifting a finger. They can't help but admire the way you move, the way you succeed, and the way you carry yourself without needing external validation. It's a paradox they can't escape. The less you give, the more they crave. Your silence makes you magnetic because it's rooted in something far deeper than they can understand: a connection to your spiritual path and purpose. In today's world where people are easily distracted and constantly performing for others, this level of self-mastery is rare and powerful. Let them talk, let them make noise, let them obsess. It only highlights their lack of focus and inner peace. Meanwhile, you continue to grow, build, and evolve in silence. The truth is, you are already winning. You have risen above the games, the drama, and the endless need for validation because you know who you are. And when you move in silence, you do not hide your building. Your spiritual awakening has taught you that true power does not need an audience. It only needs purpose. So while they scream for attention, let your silence remain the mystery that drives them crazy. After all, the loudest voice is not the one that speaks, but the one that speaks for success and purpose. If you find this message valuable, please comment "very helpful" as an encouragement for us to try to make useful videos. (11) You didn't let pain define you. You didn't let pain define you, and that's what sets you apart in ways they can't quite comprehend. When life hit you with its sharpest blows, they watched closely, almost waiting for the moment you would collapse under the weight of it all. They thought your struggles would crush you, your pain would drown you, and your spirit would break like a brittle branch in the storm. But instead of falling apart, you did something extraordinary. You turned every moment of adversity into a lesson, a stepping stone, a tool for your growth. You took the very wounds that were meant to weaken you and used them to make you stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever before. While others allowed their failures to consume them, you chose to rise not in spite of the pain, but because of it. This is what makes you different. While they wallowed in their defeats, questioning life and feeling trapped by their circumstances, you alchemized your pain into something meaningful, something purposeful, and ultimately, something powerful. And they can't stop wondering how you did it. Think about modern life, where so many people lose themselves in their struggles. Perhaps you know someone who let heartbreak, rejection, or failure define their entire life. Maybe it's a friend who never quite moved on from being overlooked for that promotion, or a family member still stuck in the past because of a bad relationship. You, on the other hand, took the blows life gave you and reshaped them. Maybe you were told you weren't good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. Maybe you faced loss, betrayal, or financial collapse. Yet you used those very experiences to rise higher, turning them into fuel for your spiritual growth and personal transformation. Like an athlete who trains harder after every loss, or a writer who channels heartbreak into their most inspiring work. You let pain refine you, not define you. You chose not to be a victim, but a warrior, someone who transforms suffering into a source of power. Now they're obsessed not just with what you've achieved, but with how you've managed to keep showing up stronger after every setback. Your resilience has become a reflection of everything they wish they had, but don't understand how to attain. How do you keep going when the world tries so hard to tear you down? How do you find meaning in the chaos, hope in the despair, and courage when all seems lost? The truth is, your spirituality, the deep connection to your inner self, and the energy that guides you, has allowed you to see pain not as punishment, but as a pathway to growth. And your ability to transmute pain into purpose makes you unstoppable. What they don't realize is that this isn't magic, it's a choice. You made a decision to break free from the cycles of self-doubt, victimhood, and excuses that hold so many people back. Instead of being crushed, you allowed the challenges to crack you open, revealing your truest self and unleashing the strength that was always within you. And now, they can't get enough of you. They watch, not because they want to celebrate you, but because they need to understand what makes you so unbreakable. Your ability to carry yourself with grace, dignity, and purpose in the face of suffering exposes their own powerlessness, their inability to rise in the same way. But here's the lesson. Life doesn't break you. It reveals you. Pain is a teacher, and if you let it, it will shape you into someone unstoppable. The darkest moments often give birth to the brightest light if you dare to embrace the discomfort and let it transform you. So when life tests you again, remember this. You are more powerful than any storm you'll face. Your struggles are not setbacks, they're setups for your greatest victories. Don't let them trap you in a cycle of despair. Rise, grow, and use your pain as the very force that propels you forward. And ask yourself this: if your pain could become the foundation of your strength, what might you build with it? Keep rising and keep proving them wrong. Because you are the living proof that pain does not define you, it empowers you. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might need these great values. Let's continue this conversation and go deeper into what these values really mean. 12. You created value out of thin air. You see, there's a reason they can't stop watching you, analyzing you, obsessing over who you are and how you did it. While they were busy running in circles, chasing the next trend and mimicking what was already popular, you were walking your own path, silently and steadily building something extraordinary out of nothing. You didn't rely on the formulas and blueprints they followed so faithfully. No, you trusted the spiritual wisdom within you, the kind that whispers, create something new, create something real. And so you did. You gave birth to ideas and value where others only saw emptiness. That's what truly unsettles them, the fact that you created a reality they couldn't even imagine. While they spent their time recycling ideas, playing it safe, and trying to blend in with the crowd, you had the courage to innovate, to evolve, and to bring to life something the world didn't even know it needed. Isn't it fascinating how that works? As Steve Jobs once said, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Your ability to think beyond limits, to act on visions that didn't yet exist, has exposed a truth they've tried to avoid. That imitation will always keep them stuck one step behind. They can't figure out how you saw potential in what looked like nothing, how you found value where they only saw a void. Your success doesn't just surprise them, it unsettles them, because it shines a light on their lack of originality. It's not just your results that leave them speechless, it's the process. You proved that true value creation doesn't come from following trends or copying what's already been done. It comes from listening to the deeper call within yourself and daring to trust it when no one else sees what you see. Can you see why this bothers them so much? They followed every rule the world handed them, yet their efforts only produced echoes of what others had already achieved. And here you are, chosen one, building something entirely new, something so authentic it cannot be duplicated. They may never admit it, but your success reminds them of their own limitations, their fear of standing out, of failing, or of risking everything to create something original. You did what they couldn't. You turned nothing into something priceless. And now, they're obsessed because they wish they had the courage to do what you've done. But here's the deeper truth. The path you've walked wasn't easy. It took perseverance, resilience, and a deep connection to the divine source of your vision. You knew there was something greater waiting to be brought into existence, and you followed that knowing even when others doubted you. That's why they can't stop thinking about you. It's not admiration, it's envy cloaked in curiosity. They're trying to decode you, to figure out how you made the impossible look so effortless. But let me ask you this. Isn't it beautiful that their obsession is just proof of your power? Your ability to create where they couldn't, your courage to step into the unknown and manifest your vision into reality, has forever set you apart. Remember, the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. You are one of those people. You didn't just follow the trends, you became the trend. You didn't just copy what you created. And now, as they watch you rise, unable to replicate your magic, all they can do is stare, wonder, and ask themselves why they didn't believe in their own light the way you did. But don't let their fixation distract you. Instead, let it remind you of your purpose and power. Because the world needs more creators. more chosen ones who dare to break free and bring something new to life. As you continue to rise, remember this: your authenticity, resilience, and unwavering spirit are your greatest strengths. Their obsession with your journey speaks volumes about the power you hold and the light you shine. You've proven that no one can stop your growth or rewrite the story you're destined to tell. Now, it's time to take these principles and apply them to your daily life. Embrace your uniqueness, defy the odds, and step fully into your greatness. If this message resonated with you, let me know in the comments what part of your journey has shown you just how unstoppable you truly are. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more content that empowers your rise. Together, let's keep building, growing, and shining brighter. Stay blessed, chosen ones.